everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dee and this is my feline life mate, Stud. Today y'all, we're heading back to Watts Island to dive into a pretty eerie and controversial topic. What's up with the former Watts house at 2825 Saratoga Trail in Frederick, Colorado? This house is infamous because of the tragic you-know-what involving the Watts family back in 2018. If you don't know about this case, I'll put a title card up here so you can check out a previous video I did about it. This house seems to have a dark cloud hanging over it, given what's happened not only then but now as well. And today we're going to explore the Native American lore that surrounds the area of Frederick and what impact it may have on the properties located in and around Saratoga Trail. First, let's rewind to 2018. The Watts family home became a focal point of horror after jerk-off Chris Watts committed the unthinkable against his family. The house, which seemed like the perfect suburban dream home, quickly turned into something out of a nightmare. After the tragedy, the house sat empty, almost like it was tainted by the events that took place there. But this isn't the first time Colorado has been in the spotlight for something so sinister. Just think about it. The Watts family murders, the unsolved murder of JonBenet Ramsey, the chilling Aurora theater shooting, and the heart-wrenching cases of Suzanne Morphew and Dylan Redwine. And who could forget the Columbine school shooting that shocked the nation? Even this doofus had ties to the state. It's as if Colorado has a dark cloud hanging over it, drawing in one tragedy after another. In 2013, Chris and Shanann purchased their 6,200 square foot home at 2825 Saratoga Trail in Frederick, Colorado for almost $400,000. For nearly 4 years after the crimes, the home stood vacant until it was finally purchased by the Miller family in 2022. Property records show the Millers paid upwards of $600,000 for the home, and to be honest, I feel made some lovely design changes to the house, especially to the exterior. Coincidentally, the Miller family is a family of 5, just like the Watts family would have been. Justin and Kaylin Miller have 3 children, 2 little girls and a little boy. Again, similar to what the Watts family would have been. When the Millers first moved in, Kaylin Miller quickly went on the defensive about getting tons of backlash from naysayers about buying a, quote, murder house. In part of a Facebook post, Miss Miller wrote, "My husband is not and never will be Chris Watts. To think he'd ever hurt us is ridiculous." Well, let's fast forward to April 2024 when things got, well, ridiculous. During a Super Bowl Sunday get-together with friends, Justin Miller caught his wife and her friend accidentally, brushing their lips together when they turned their heads at the same time? I guess Mr. Miller had become suspicious when his kids told him that her and her bestie were spending a lot of time together behind a locked bedroom door when he was away on business. This prompted Mr. Miller to install a security camera to surveil his wife and, yeah, busted. Mr. Miller freaked out at the lip-brushing accident and in a fit of anger slapped the wine glass Mrs. Miller was holding right out of her hand and then told her to, quote, "get the fuck out." Instead, she called the cops. Justin Miller was arrested for rhymes with obtuse, harassment and obstruction of telephone or telegraph service, leading many stuck on Watts Island to wonder just what the hell is going on with this house. More specifically, what the hell is going on in Colorado? Let's talk Indian lore. Frederick, Colorado, where the Watts/Miller house sits, is part of a region with a rich Native American history, particularly from the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute tribes. In fact, the Ute people are the oldest residents of Colorado, inhabiting the mountains and vast areas of the state. The Colorado Tourism Office acknowledges the Southern Ute Indian Tribe and the Mountain Ute Tribe as 2 federally recognized tribes with historic ties to the land that is now Colorado, including the area of Frederick. Native American artifacts have been found buried in Frederick, and evidence suggests that tribes like the Tuscarora and Piscataway may have tried to settle there around 400 years ago. These tribes have long held beliefs about spirits connected to the land, spirits that can bring both blessings and curses, depending on how they are treated. Now, let's talk about the Arapaho and Cheyenne tribes. These tribes revered the White Buffalo Woman, a sacred figure central to their spiritual practices. According to their legends, the White Buffalo Woman brought the people vital teachings, including the sacred pipe ceremony, a ritual that connects the physical and spiritual realms. This ceremony was believed to invite blessings and protection from the Great Spirit, Tonka, and to maintain harmony with the natural world. However, the land itself was also believed to be inhabited by spirits, beings that can influence the lives of those who live there. For the Arapaho and Cheyenne, the plains around Frederick weren't just hunting grounds. They were spiritual landscapes where powerful unseen forces were at play. These spirits could be benevolent, offering guidance and protection, but they can also be malevolent, especially if the land was disrespected or disturbed. Could it be that the tragic history of the Watts house is somehow linked to these ancient spirits? Are these spirits, once honored and revered, now restless and seeking to make their presence known? Could the same be said for other Colorado tragedies? Now let's turn to the Ute people, who are more closely associated with the mountainous regions of Colorado, though their influence extends to the foothills near Frederick. The Ute have a profound connection to the natural world, believing that powerful spirits inhabit the mountains, rivers, and even the wind. Among these spirits, there are those that are considered benevolent, bringing protection and healing, but there are also malevolent entities, forces that can bring sickness, misfortune, or even death. One such malevolent spirit in Ute tradition is known as the evil wind or bad air. This spirit is believed to bring illness and madness, sweeping through areas and leaving chaos in its wake. The Ute people would perform protective rituals to ward off this spirit, especially during times of illness or when entering unfamiliar territories. Another significant figure in Ute spirituality is the bear spirit, seen as both a powerful protector and a force to be reckoned with. The bear spirit is often invoked in healing ceremonies, but if disrespected, it can bring misfortune, an important reminder of the dual nature of these spiritual forces. Interestingly, while Frederick is several hundred miles away from the Navajo lands in the southwest, it's worth noting that the Four Corners region, about 400 miles from Frederick, has its own set of eerie stories. In Navajo culture, there are legends of skinwalkers, witches who can transform into animals or other people, and who are often associated with malevolent activities. While traditional healers or shaman are seen in Navajo culture as good, skinwalkers are known as evil and must commit an evil act, such as the murder of a loved one, to transform or gain the skinwalker knowledge and abilities. These legends add another layer of mystery to the question of whether there's something deeper and darker at play in Colorado. Given the Ute belief in these powerful spirits, it's worth considering whether the land around Frederick might still be under the influence of these ancient forces. Could the evil wind have found its way to Saratoga Trail, bringing with it a legacy of misfortune? Could the bear spirit, once a protector, now be a restless force, disturbed by the events that have unfolded on its land? While we may never know for sure, the alignment of these spiritual beliefs with the dark history of the Watts house raises questions that are hard to ignore. So, what does all this mean for the former Watts house and the families who have lived there? While there's no definitive proof of a supernatural connection, the tragic and eerie events surrounding this property certainly make you wonder. Could the land itself be cursed, or is it simply the weight of the dark history that influences those who inhabit the house? You gotta admit, it does have some poltergeisty similarities to it. All this action at one house while the surrounding properties have no issues? I don't know.
You son of a bitch, you moved the cemetery, but you left the bodies, didn't you? You son of a bitch, you left the bodies and you only moved the headstones! You only moved the headstones!
And don't forget the creepy goings-on that occurred shortly after the Watts murders. A giggle in Shanann's closet, lights turning on by themselves, neighbors reporting a woman seen entering the home at night but never leaving, apparent apparitions on the stairs and at the dining table, and even one spooky instance that caught an officer's attention. If you want to learn more about the potential paranormal activity that may have happened in the house after the Watts familicide, check out King Frostmare's video. The link is in the description below. Sadly, the Millers have filed for divorce and put the home on the market at a steep markup. The 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house was originally listed for $775,000, almost a 94% increase from when the Watts purchased it in 2013. Recently, they dropped the price to $725,000. So, what do you think is going on at the property? Do you think Native American spirits could be influencing its occupants? With all we know about the house today, would you buy it? Thanks for checking out this video. Stud and I truly appreciate you. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Remember, Stud and I mean no disrespect to Native American culture. We find it interesting and fascinating and thought you might too. If you have any suggestions for future videos, let us know in the comments below. Tawaya!